by African.
Yes.
The Who is Black topic.
Oh man.
I know you see a lot of rumbling, a lot of things going on about this strong topic that's plaguing our community.
Yeah.
So we're gonna close with this.
Yeah.
What is your thoughts on the Who is Black topic?
Yeah, well, first off, to help y'all out before we get into this, it was something that I didn't even think about, okay? And the reason why I didn't think about it is because I wear it every day. I am that every day, so it wasn't even on my mind, to be honest with you. But the Who is Black thing, I mean, if you want to know how sensitive we are, bring this up in your group. Okay, bring this up in your group and you'll see how sensitive people are. I think that I think it's disrespectful to not let us be what we are. I think that it's disrespectful for people to not acknowledge who they are. And that's why we don't have no clarity on the situation. You know, like I was explaining before we even came on camera, to the people who have issues with this Who is Black conversation, we were discussing that if you go back and read Malcolm X's autobiography,
Here we go.
Malcolm X talks about his own mother hating the European blood that was in her body. What does that say about her recognition about being black? She fully understands that this is not the same as the man that I married.
Right.
It's not the same. And I think when we get caught in this world of, I don't want to be labeled, no labels, well, I could give you a can without a label in it. It could be yellow. You could think it's lemonade. You could drink it and it could be piss. The label is needed so it could be properly identified. Who is black? That conversation is so we can properly identify, again, who is black, hence who is African.
Right.
You guys are not looking at it properly. You got your emotions involved. I'm speaking solely to the people who are emotional about this conversation. Multiracial is not a bad label. It's not a bad label. We were discussing too. When we were a little bit younger and a little bit more fast behind these ladies and stuff like that, and we asked them, what are you? They come over here looking whatever. What are you? It used to be a thing to tell me quarter Indian, quarter French, Jamaican, black, I'm Creole, I'm this. It used to be a whole mathematical equation to explain who a person was. This was us coming up. That was a part of it. Nobody had no issue. That's a long way of saying multiracial. It was accepted then. Today, we sitting up here and we go to that same black person, supposed now, so-called black person, who is high yellow, the hair is straight, all of this type of stuff. And I will say you are not black in favor of multiracial. Now, in either case right there is no disrespect. That is not disrespectful language at all for me to call you a multiracial. And for you to reference yourself that way, and for me to say that, you're really blowing my mind. But I will say that we are not in this to be disrespectful. But I think people need to realize how disrespectful it is to us, to actually put us in the same category. We're not the same. We're not the same. We go through this entire world with the gay community, the black community, the Asian community now, and all of this stuff where we're supposed to be respecting differences. Clearly, when it gets to us, there's always an issue with respecting our differences. What we are. We sit on the melanin thing, we sitting on DNA, we sitting on biologically, we sitting on it being centered. That's what it is. We are more than willing to give you that information. Y'all just too emotional about it. Being multiracial is not a bad thing. But I'm not here to console y'all. I'm here to tell you you're not black.
That's right.
That's what I'm here to tell you.
So let me ask you on this, because as you just said, you know, because when they do come in our groups, you know, sometimes when they come in our ranks, let me say that, we get deemed on the bottom. You know, as a highly melanated brother as yourself, you're just gonna get deemed as a dark skinned person. You know, and you know, it was so bad, you know, well, my internalized issues as a child is I got teased for looking like African.
Yeah, fact.
Even like the other day I was at the store, some dude was like, Habasha. I'm like, who the fuck you talking to? But a lot of people assume I'm Ethiopian. Mm-hmm. But I'm like, no, I'm not. I'm American Negro. I'll take that.
Right.
But I know what I look like.
Right.
You know, so I used to be called a raccoon by my, you know, so it's like, so it's like we some sick niggas. You know?
Facts. Hey.
So that's why I'm asking, you know, because people say, well, light skinned this. Me and you were sitting right here. In a sense, I can be deemed light skinned.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Right.
And I recognize that.
Right.
But my question is, you know, as a brother as you, do you see that when they do come in our ranks, we are just deemed quote unquote angry or dark skinned or jealous? Even though we never said we dislike something about them, but why are we deemed jealous? Why are you deeming us jealous or hateful? You're already telling us that you assume that we think you're better. And it's like, no, we're just saying you're not one of us. And because, like with our black women, it breeds a lot of self-esteem issues with them. That's what I have learned.
Yeah.
Because what they're already deemed unattractive or ugly because they're dark, and I hate to use dark and light, but because, you know, they're African.
Right.
So then you got us men chasing after the hybrids or the multiracials, or they're now the new black woman who's natural with curls. Our black women think that they need to be them, and then that's when we get the hair weaves, the skin lightening. So and even with the men, many of us, and I was talking about this morning, but we kind of strapped for time. We ain't even going into this.
Yeah.
We'll go into another man conversation down the line.
Yeah, for sure.
But do you notice that a lot of brothers that look like me and you, that's like in the black, do you notice their children are much lighter than them?
Yeah, they going after multiracial women too. You know, they not, but then they'll say, I don't understand how you do that, and then you pro-black. I don't get it. You know what I mean? It's again, you're dealing with truth. What is it? You know what I mean? It has a proper, you know, definition. So if you're not creating a black family, you're not with a black woman. You know, like I said, in my world, it's pretty clear. You know what it is. Then you're just not that. But I think this emotional tie to these people wanting to be us says something about their mentality too. You know what I mean? I mean, because I've had these conversations. You know, look at how do you think it makes me feel to see someone who's like a Colin Kaepernick supposedly fighting for me? Again, I had challenged people. All of these people who are supposedly leading us, they don't look like the victims you're seeing.
Right.
They don't. You know, we can get into something deeper with George Floyd, but George Floyd does not look like Colin Kaepernick at all. You know, the people who are us who are taking the biggest L's in this, we are highly melanated. We are African people.
Right.
Like, you don't see this with the supposed light-skinned people of our community. You just don't see it. And I think that's not being talked about enough too, you know, because that goes right into this. You're being attacked because you're the black one. Right. You're the African one. Right. It's not this whole other thing. Even with Obama, I would say with Obama, and again, just with the visual, when you talk about a black man, look at me and then look at Obama, and you can't see that there's a difference. That's not, when we talk about a black man, when we talked about a black man being president, okay, we're talking about a black man that look like me, look like brother. Right. We're not talking about an Obama, and you can clearly see the difference between what I look like and what Obama looks like.
My question would be, if Obama or Kaepernick is a black man, what are we?
Exactly.
Are we the old black?
Exactly.
Or are we just some dark niggas?
Exactly.
You know?
and we have to stop with we have to get involved with that conversation in detail, because here's what happens. You have situations like Rachel Dolezal, who is not black at all, but has a little tan to her, does her hair different, takes on that characteristic, and because we take on everything that supposedly halfway looks black, you got her working for an organization that is historically not for us, but at the same time, she's pandering as a black woman, which is the point. And clearly, she turned out to be a whole white woman. This wasn't even you got your daddy was, you know, your daddy's not even this. You come from a You are a white woman who got off as a black woman. That, for the black community, to me, should be a red flag about how we identify what black is, period.
Right.
So you should not be in your feelings when we had information like this. Even Miss Harris, Kamala Harris, same deal. Just to go back to the labels, man, multiracial is not a bad thing, but we do have to split that difference between what and who is black.
Right.
Because
you brought up a great point, like in a Rachel Donzel or Kamala softly, but more so like Rachel. You're in a position advocating for black people at a black organization. You're getting tenure at a college under guise as a black woman. That's a lot of people understand. These people are taking our jobs and future from us,
Exactly.
and at the same time, they hold the disdain for us. So when we come to the door trying to get help, they don't want to help us, but they'll push their own agenda under the guise of being black. So it's like, you're propagating yourself as a black woman of means who's out here being successful in the community building when you're not even black. We need to have somebody, a black woman, in that position. You know, and that's what our people don't get, that socially, politically, educationally, they are removing us from these spaces. So if you look down the street, I'm in Oakland, a lot of the people on the street that's sleeping in these 10 cities, they look like me and you. Male and female.
Right.
Because it ain't just men, it's women out here too.
Yeah.
You know, so
Yeah.
I agree with you, and I thank you for putting that out.
Yeah.
Any closing remarks on the Who is Black?
Just like with Who is Black and any of these other topics that you guys may run across on this page or my page or anywhere else, open yourself up to it, because it's only the truth. And to what Francis Welsing said, for me, all of this stuff is to bring peace on the planet. If we're going to get peace on the planet, we have to deal with the real, and we have to deal with the truth. And this is just one, category of that. So I would say, keep love in your heart. The idea is peace on the planet, man. But, properly identify yourself, man. You that's the ultimate respect, for yourself, is to properly identify yourself too. You know what I mean? Know who you are, know what you're about, and go from there, man. You know what I mean? Just don't lie to yourself.
Right. And then any other black people. So with that, we're going to close out right now.